What's up, everybody? It is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Poison Ivy to my Harley Quinn. It's Jake. How you doing, big boy?
I'm great, man, but you totally just skipped the YouTube segment.
I did. I'm not used to it. It's throwing me off. Well, let's talk about stuff. Then I can just do this again.
You can. So the thing I wanted to bring up, did you see it was not from tonight's NBA game, but the one a couple nights ago where Conor McGregor put that mascot in the ER?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Dude, what is that guy's problem?
Well, I mean, like it was
Hmm.
supposed to be a bit, and I think it's also just like, I mean, I don't, I will, I'm not the type to defend Conor McGregor, but if you're gonna be like, yeah, punch me, you trained athlete that's trained for punching, give him some padding in the area that he's going to be like, don't just be like, yeah, this will be fine, I'm wearing a mascot outfit, I get hit all the
Oh,
time.
okay, but I feel like Connor could probably sell a punch a little bit better than just straight jacking the guy in the face.
Yeah, I mean, Connor's an idiot and that's just known, but at the same time I'm defending him because I 100% feel like the mascot's like, no, this is padded, don't worry about it. And then it's
Maybe.
like hits him, and then the second hit also sounded like, because I heard that he hits him twice. I'm like,
Mhm.
maybe don't hit him twice, bud.
He hits him once. The guy falls to the ground. He goes over to the guy, hits him again while he's on the ground.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just no matter what the profession is, it should have been a little bit wrestling style, you know.
oh, 100%. But like I said, I wouldn't have been surprised if the mascot would have been like, nah, dude, it's I'm wearing a big teddy bear on me, like, yeah, it's not gonna hurt. And if he said that too, Connor might have been like, oh, I'm gonna make it hurt. Oh, yeah, wee lad, I'll give you a little bit of pain, like how he talks.
All to promote some pain relieving spray.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious if they would have done it and they would have sprayed him and they would have popped back up.
Well, I guess Connor was spraying him as they're dragging him off the floor.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, anything else before the Mad Lib?
uh no, not really. I will say this one thing that is underrated is lemonade. Like I did some yard work this weekend. I was just worn out and I bought myself some lemonade. I had some. I'm like, oh boy, after a long day of work, you take a little bit of lemonade. That's better than some that's better than a cold beer, I'll tell you what.
Really? The guy that doesn't drink beer thinks that
Yeah.
lemonade's better than beer.
Ooh, so good. So much better. If okay, so if you're listening to this and you go, I really just want a natty light, try a lemonade instead. Or if you're like, I really want a Coors Light or a Bud Light, or I mean, probably not Bud Light, because gays, but
He's kidding.
I am. But no, like if you're listening to this and you go, I just could really use a refreshing beverage after all this hard work I've done in the salt mines or whatever you do in the comic shop. I don't know. Um, try an ice cold lemonade instead. Not a hard one, just a regular one, a
Yeah.
soft one as they're called.
No, they're not.
You don't call them a nice soft lemonade?
No, I
Oh
don't know
yes,
that
that's
anybody does.
that's just me. When I go to the bar, I pull up. I'm like, hey, barkeep, why don't you pour me a soft glass of lemonade?
I feel like you don't get a response and he looks at you weird as he slides it to you.
Yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, soft lemonade, of course. And they're like, he said he wanted a soft lemonade. What the fuck does that mean?
Anyway, let's do a Mad Lib.
Okay.
Okay, this one's called You're Invited. And
Ooh,
let's maybe
urine.
not do Fast and Furious
Okay.
themed again.
Okay. No promises.
Okay, an adjective.
Smelly.
A place.
Australia.
Okay. I like how you You went smelly and Australia back to back.
And that had nothing to do with it. I listened to a podcast with Australians and you said urine. And so then they were also talking about how Australians love piss. So I was like, well, I know what I'm thinking about.
um, Plural part of the body.
Oh, some balls. Or as I like to call them, the piss makers.
Do you want me to put piss makers?
Oh, no, just the balls are fine.
Okay. Boy, you really don't know much about anatomy, huh?
Well, I never took it. Okay. I took ag science.
Verb.
Oh, let's go with shitting or just shit.
Okay. Color.
Gray.
Okay, here's the one that just it's like this was destiny. Type of liquid.
Urine. Really quick sidebar. There's Auntie Donna where they're going to be doing a going to the Olympics, and so they're like, they have to get their piss test. Like and Broden comes in as the piss tester, and it's not Broden, but it's he's the pit, but they'll just have themselves playing random people, and so he comes in like, yes, I'm gonna need your piss, and they're like, it's like, and I'm not gonna drink it. They're like, I didn't think you were going to. And he's like, good, because I wasn't going to. And then he's like, we're starting to think you're gonna drink our piss. And he's like, no, I am not. And he like puts on a bib that says like, I love to drink piss. And then like he gets a straw out and like that's a big fun curly cute straw, like a big like tiki drink and stuff. It's like he's gonna drink our piss. And he's like, no, the Olympic Games are like he goes in this big speech and he's just like, oh, he's drinking the piss. He's
Oh, that's great. That show is something else.
yeah, I love it.
Article of clothing.
Oof, a jock strap.
Plural noun.
Tits.
Noun.
Chicken.
This is so stupid. Plural type of food.
Let's say potatoes.
Love me some taters.
I bought some canned ones and then I was like, oh, I don't have a can opener.
Why'd you buy canned ones? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just
No,
curious.
well, I was just like, I was at the store and I had some real ones in my cart and I was like, canned ones are 88 cents. I'll just get some canned ones. And
Right
like
on.
they're fun to put in tinfoil and cook on the grill.
Fair enough. Verb ending in ing.
Fucking.
Person. Oh wait, person in the room.
Oh, Jake.
Verb ending in ing.
Let's say I don't want to do fucking again. Let's say riding.
Plural animal.
Um, blue-footed boobies. That's a real animal, kids. Google it on your parents' phone. Boobies. Image search. And then after you get the good stuff, then type in blue-footed in front of it.
Like, sorry, mom, I meant the bird. Noun.
A stack of National Geographic.
Celebrity.
John Travolta.
Dude, this one is gonna be insane.
That's how I like them, man.
A noun.
Piss. He says
Plural
drinking
noun.
his lemonade. Um, jars of piss.
That tired already, huh?
This is funny.
All right, here we go. You're invited to our smelly family and friends. We'd lava to have you with us in the tropical paradise of Australia as we join some balls and say I shit. Our wedding will take place in an outdoor chapel with the gorgeous gray urine of the ocean as our backdrop. Feel free to wear a fancy jockstrap or come in Hawaiian-themed tits.
Nice.
A reception on the beach will follow. Please indicate whether you'd like chicken, fish, or potatoes. There will be plenty of dancing and fucking to music by the band Jake and the Ridin' Blue-Footed Boobies.
Nice.
We've secured a block of rooms. We've secured a block of rooms at the stack of National Geographic's resort and spa under the name John Travolta. We can't wait to be pronounced man and piss, surrounded by all of our closest jars of piss. Hope to see you there. Lava always and forever. Rachel and Russell.
Did you steal that for your wedding invitations? Because it was very similar.
I just love the, block of rooms at the stack of National Geographic Resort and Spa. So fucking dumb. All right. Shall we go on to the episode?
Hold on one sec. My thing said it switched from the change the speaker and will now be used.
I think you're good.
Did I sound good? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Default microphone is changed to microphone. It just keeps telling me that.
I mean, the quality's not changing.
Yeah, and this is the 15 anyway, so it's like I don't know why it changed. So I think we are good. Sugar. Okay. What's up, everybody? It is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the sultry Poison Ivy to my chaotic Harley. It's Jake. How you doing, bud?
I'm wonderful, man. How are you doing?
I'm not doing too bad, man.
Good. It's how's your day been?
Oh, not so bad. Been in a grain bin. We were working on that, so that's not ideal, but whatever. What about you?
Lots of hacking up some grain stuff.
Not so bad this time around because over the weekend. So fun fact, this is just my house. Ever since I moved in, my lock had been kind of shitty, and then like the key wouldn't come out. And then one day I was trying to get the key out, it wouldn't come out. So I grabbed some pliers to get it out, and then I broke my key. So I was like, well, gotta go get a key. So a new lock. So I went and got a new lock, and I'm almost there. I was like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna get some good masks because the masks we were using were not very. So I got those ones, and it worked a lot better today than prior.
Glad to hear it. Don't want you getting all that stuff up in your lungs.
Right. Always hacking up brown stuff after that. It's never fun. Well, you, man, you do anything fun this weekend or today?
Yeah, I did. Today was pretty cool. I got some new golf clubs over the weekend. So today I tried them out at the driving range. and that was super fun. And then I went and saw the new Spider-Verse movie.
Ooh, tell me about that. Is it good?
Yeah, very good.
Good.
Very, very good. I I guess it's like I didn't know this going in, but there's like another one coming out pretty soon.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
So this one's definitely like a part one.
Yeah.
Ends on a bit of a cliffhanger and a to be continued. However, it's a long movie. Um, it doesn't really feel that long, and you know, it might be better than the first one. It really might be.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's good. I
lots
was
of good
curious.
stuff.
I was curious if it would be better than the first one or not because it's like it might be trying to do too much, you know?
Yeah, I don't think they do. I don't
Right
think they
on.
do. Yeah,
I'm wanting to see it because I love the first one. So
same, man.
the
It's
only downside of the first one was I hated Kingpin's design.
yeah, well, that's fair. The do you know who the villain is?
Not really. Like
Okay, I won't say it then.
I know like Spider-Man 2099, and then like I've seen some spoilerish memes online where it looks like maybe the villain is a different Miles from a different universe or something like that.
Mm, no, you're off, but that's okay
Okay.
because that means that it'll be nice and
Yeah.
fresh for you. Um, but the villain is a little bit not unsettling per se, but just like I don't know, just kind of weird looking. I'll say that. But
Oh wait, it's the Spot, right?
uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that. I knew that, but I didn't think he was gonna be the main villain.
Yeah. They found a way to make him more imposing than he normally is. So
That's good.
that's cool. But yeah, really good stuff, man. Lots of fun cameos, and you see lots of cool spider designs. So good stuff.
Right on, dude. Dan Slott's just like loving this. He's like making all of the all like the $5 that he probably makes per each one because Marvel doesn't pay their people at fucking all. But
Right. Well, I mean, the royalties money should be better than what he normally gets, right?
yeah, well, no, I mean I'm sure. Okay, first off, I'll actually go into this because I saw some tweets the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, I should talk about this, and I forgot to write it down. So I just kind of jogged my memory, but I just remember the royalties that they get for movies are not a lot because like they always have to split it. It's like if I remember right, with Devin Grayson said she was like for her creating Florence Pugh's character when it appears in the movie, she could get up to $10,000, but she then had to split it with the rest of the creative team, and then they found all these other ways to mark it down. So I think she ended up getting like 2,500 off of $1 billion movie.
Right.
But okay, so here is a fun little thing I saw. This person, Kwanzaa Osejefo, probably terribly destroyed that name, so I apologize. But they tweeted, it's like, just gonna put this out on the main. Well, DC had me lying to some creators to get them working for less than their average page rate. I signed vouchers to high profile writers for $10,000 per issue. You read that number right. Comics broke me. And then, yeah, so he was talking about DC, but then Heather Antos was like, and this doesn't just go for hired talent. As an assistant editor, I would sign vouchers for talent who had made more for a single issue than Marvel would pay me in a year. And then Peter Krause added on to this. He's like, let me add, my page rate went down between my first, the Eisner nominated Daredevil Road Warrior, and my second job at Marvel, down nearly 20%. Ahoy Comics pays me better than Marvel. I just thought that was crazy. That, it's like, wow, you just really can't pay people. You just really don't want to pay people. Like, I get the comics are kind of like, you just hear shit from like people out on the outside. They're always saying like, yeah, this isn't what makes them money and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but the IP is still making them money, so you'd think you'd want to at least pay these people. But yeah,
Yeah, it's like I understand that there's um inflation and just cost of living and all that over the years, but like, man, what were they getting paid back when comics were a quarter? You know what I
right.
mean?
And like, what were they getting paid? And when Jack Kirby was like doing all of it, like, what was
Mhm.
Jack? Like probably not much.
No, probably not much. And I feel like whatever they were getting paid when comics were a quarter, that's what they're getting paid now. It's
Right.
just that extra, $3.75 are just going straight to Marvel.
Yeah, because I just don't get with like these guys because well, me and Nick were talking about that with Peter David. Peter David had the Joe Fixit book out, but he wasn't getting like he must have got paid all up front for it because he wasn't getting any money from that book coming in when he was going through his health issues and he was needing help. It's just like
Yeah,
what the hell?
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I know all these creators would be so fucked without stuff like Hero Initiative
Right.
and all the other creators just pitching in.
And it's one thing too though when it's like back in the day before the movies really took off. I'm like, yeah, Hero Initiative was necessary because comics weren't making a lot of money there, but now with the movies and it's like being $1 billion industry with this, superhero shit, it's like Hero Initiative shouldn't have to be a thing. I mean, I'm glad it is, but it shouldn't have to be.
Yep, totally agree. It is such a shit show. I love the industry, but I don't love that part of the
Yeah.
industry. All right. Shall we talk about some news? I don't even know
Yeah.
how we got there.
It was because we were talking about Dan Slott's royalties because like
Oh, Spider-Man.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Marvel is notoriously known for not paying royalties for for royalties. So like it's just like he's probably getting a check that's going to say like $5, but he might have got put in it. So maybe he's getting some, SAG rights too. So that might help.
Yeah.
some SAG insurance, like Jason Aaron or Ed Brubaker joked about. He's like, I got better stuff from just being in the movie than I did actually making Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Say what you will about Slot. I hope he is in the movie for that reason.
Yeah, 100%.
I want all these creators to make their money for their creations, even if I don't care for them.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, Dan Slott's very much just he's Anakin Skywalker for me. He was the chosen one. He was wonderful, and then he just betrayed me. So I'm waiting for him to kill the Emperor.
yeah, it could happen.
It could. Who knows? He's not Jeff Johns. Like I have a feud with Jeff Johns. He still has me blocked on Twitter.
I don't think you're ever getting unblocked.
I don't think so either. I don't even know what I did. Probably I said something mean.
You absolutely said something
I
mean.
had to have.
But anyway, all right, let's do some
Yep.
news. You want to go first?
Yeah, so we got some MonsterVerse news. I'll knock both those out really quick. First thing, we got MonsterVerse graphic novel set announced. It's going to be a 5-part MonsterVerse, or it's going to have the 5 MonsterVerse related stories plus one new one. So if you bought all 5 of them separate, screw you. Got a cool cover that's announced. I'm going to pull that up really quick. Well, I thought I had it on my phone, but then it was like, oh no, we're going to go away from it. Okay. So there's what the cover looks like. Pretty
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to be called Legends of the Monsterverse. Like I said, pretty neat. Nothing that, it's going to be nothing that's going to knock your socks off. Um, yeah, then we also got a trailer for Netflix's Skull Island, which is supposed to be in the Monsterverse. But after I watched that trailer, I'm like, I don't know how this is connected at all.
What makes you say that?
I mean, as someone that's seen Skull Island, I'm like, where does this Skull Island and like from Kong Skull Island to the Godzilla versus Kong? I don't know how this show where they're on Skull Island teaming, like fighting monsters and stuff, how that's going to fit within the greater continuity of stuff. Which
Is
as a
it after the Kong movie?
it's supposed it looks like it. So it's like I don't know how this is gonna fit.
Is Kong there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think that's a
Yeah.
fair question. Like, it could
Yeah.
just be a
That's
research team on.
well, because yeah, that's what I was thinking at first when I was like, it's a skull. It's called Skull Island. So like, I was like, maybe they're going like the storm's gone from Godzilla versus Kong, and now it's just Skull. They found Skull Island again or whatever. That's what I was saying. And then Kong shows up in the trailer. I'm like, well, that shoots that down. So I don't know.
How does Kong look?
He looks cool. The animation looks cool. I like the animation in this. I like more than any of the Godzilla animes we've gotten.
Oh, so
And
it's animated.
yes, and then I also like it more than the Gamera anime that the trailer because like those are like the more cell shaded kind of like cheap looking animation. This one they've been working on for a while, and like from the trailer it shows that they've been working on it because it's like actually good animation.
That's good, man. Glad to hear it. Speaking of trailers, I saw a couple.
You bought one? Oh, okay. Sorry.
No. First one, we got a season 3 trailer for The Witcher. Um, Henry's Last Ride. It's like a 2-part thing. They're doing the end of June is when part 1 drops, and then sometime in July part 2 drops. Whatever. I'm just bummed when I talk about that show anymore.
Yeah.
And then we got a trailer for The Expendables 4, which I did not know was even in development. Those movies are stupid and I like them. So I was excited to see that trailer. I was a little surprised. A lot of the bigger names that were in the first 3 aren't back for this. It's still got Stallone, Statham, Randy Couture, and I think like that's it. Like there's no Terry Crews. Oh, Dolph Lundgren's in it.
Okay.
But otherwise there's like 50 Cent and Megan Fox, which is a downgrade compared to some of those. Oh, but Tony Jaa is back. I think he was in number 3, and I'm a big fan of his. So it's whatever. Like it doesn't matter who's in it. It's still gonna be an Expendables movie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But the action's always cool. I still respect Stallone for doing this at fucking 78 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
And Statham is always great in these movies. So looking forward to that one. Have you watched any of those before?
Dude, we saw one in theaters together.
I never remember that.
I mean, that one's a memorable one to remember though, because okay, set the scene. You were wearing a Nightwing shirt. And then we were watching the movie, and then this very upset person was like, fuck this movie, fucking bullshit, fuck, just yelling, so upset. And we were like, what is wrong with him? And then as we're walking, he's like, no, this is fucking bullshit. That's a fucking awesome shirt, but fuck this movie. And
I do kind of remember that part.
and I've seen number 2. I've not seen number 3.
Okay. You like them?
I liked the first one, and I liked the second one. The second one was really like it was just like first one seemed like they weren't sure what they were doing, and the second one was like, oh, you want to watch this for stupid? We'll make it stupid,
Yeah.
And then like I hear the third one got even dumber, but
Yeah, I don't remember one of them. One of them, Stone Cold, is like one of the bad guys.
I think that's the first one, isn't it?
Is it?
I thought.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just like watching him getting the shit beat out of him like he does to women.
Yeah. Well, the thing I heard was he's like, yeah, I'll be the bad guy if you let me just beat up some women. They're like, no. He's like, oh man.
I thought you were gonna say something real there for a second. You really had me going.
It's like, I guess I'll just do that at home like I do all the time. Me, Stone Cold, the wife beater. It's like, that's weird that's your whole name. But okay,
we know though. All right, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about this. Daredevil Born Again has shut down production due to the writer's strike. So I think that's going to be a pretty normal thing for different stuff that we are interested in. Just going to, production keeps shut down because they don't want to pay the writers.
Yeah, I know, right? Very relevant. And I wonder how long it's gonna go on because it's been like a month so far.
It's been about a month so
It's
far.
been
I think it's going to like really start affecting when people stop paying for their streaming services. Like when they run out of shit to watch, then it's going to start mattering. But until then, I don't think they're going to care. I think they're going to keep, pushing it.
yeah. Okay, before all my comic stuff, I've got one video game thing.
What is this? The waiting room podcast? I know I said it wrong.
I know, but I'm bringing it up because they're not as big as Sonic fans as me and probably not bringing it up. But anyway, Sega announced a new Sonic the Hedgehog game this week. It's called Sonic Superstars. It's a new like classic side-scrolling Sonic game. Kind of like Generations, where it was a mix of 3D and 2D Sonic.
Okay. I was thinking like that Mario Wii game that you used to force me to play.
Oh, no, different.
I gotcha.
But there's like some new gimmicks in this one. It looks really cool. You can play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. So that's pretty neat. They're adding other characters in there. Yeah, just really looking forward to it.
I just love the thought where they're like how like I don't get this with Sonic. It's like, yeah, you can be Sonic. You can be, like he's super fast. You can be Tails. He's kind of fast, but he can fly. Knuckles, he can climb, he can glide. You can be Amy. What's she do? Fucking
She
hammer?
has the hammer.
It's like, oh, okay. Does she go fast? No. She's got a car, maybe, since in Sonic R.
Everyone had a car at Sonic R.
No, they did not, my friend.
I know, but that was the whole gist of the game.
The jizz of the game.
You know I didn't say that.
But no, so it's just hilarious to me where someone's like, oh, the
Come on,
sites.
you know why Amy's a playable character. They wanted a lady character.
Okay, but I mean, there's like Sonic lore has some better female characters than Amy.
Maybe in the Ken Penders verse.
Well, not even Ken Pinder's verse. In all fairness, because Princess Sally,
I was kidding.
the old rabbit lady.
Well, Sally is from
He's
Ken's time.
From his time, but she first appeared in the cartoon.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And then same with
Yeah.
the old robot rabbit or cyborg rabbit. And then there's old Cream.
Well, Cream is playable in all the Sonic Advance games.
Yeah, she's got to be probably like I only remember her from the TV show. She had to be the most useless character in those games.
I think I mean, they made her fast just for the sake of it, but
Oh, okay.
I don't
Those
think she got
ears
anything
blow like
extra.
blowing in the like.
Right.
She's not aerodynamic at all.
But they could totally do like Tangle and Whisper from
Or
from the new series.
what's the girl that they threw in Sonic Boom? Because there's Amy, and then there's also the other one.
Oh, Styx. She was
Yeah,
super annoying.
get her in there.
Yeah. I don't know. There really are a lot that they could choose from
Yeah.
the comics.
Instead, they're just like, let's go with old reliable.
I mean, even though Sega owns all of it, it could still be a thing where they can't show up in other things,
I gotcha.
All right.
I'll get my last three things really quick. Actress Zazie Beetz says she's not going to be in Deadpool 3, so that's too bad because even though I didn't see the second Deadpool, I know they were like pushing her a lot as Domino in it, and now they're just like, she's not in this.
Maybe she's fibbing.
Maybe. Are you, or would you be mad if she's not in it? Did you like her in the Deadpool too?
Yeah, she was fine, but I'm not really getting worked up one way or the other over a Deadpool
Yeah,
movie.
fair enough. Superman Lois has been renewed for another season, so if you're watching that, that's probably pretty cool.
I hear it genuinely is pretty cool.
Yeah, same here. I think it probably helped that it's kind of gotten away from the CW. I think that's probably helped it a lot. But
It's also, isn't it like the last thing at this point?
well, I think technically the CW shit is just dead. Like CW, and then this is now on Max. So
Okay.
I think that's one of the things that's kind of helped it. And then lastly, Seth Rollins, rumored character in the next Captain America, has been revealed as possibly King Cobra because apparently he's finished up filming, which I didn't even know he was going to be in it. But
Is
yeah,
he a wrestler?
he is a wrestler. So I know you're a big indie wrestling fan, so you probably know him as Tyler Black. From his ROH days, right, Jake?
Hold on, wait. I know that one because John talks about it a lot. Ring of Honor.
There you go, bud.
Nice. Yeah, why did he switch names? Did he have to when he switched companies?
Pretty much for like a long, like, there's a good bit of stretch of time where if you were coming from like the indies or whatever, Vince or whoever, was like doing stuff would make you change your name because they wanted to own your name when you're in WWE so that they could, basically copyright even after you're gone. And then, so they'd always have people change up their names. But then, like, I'm trying to think when it kind of stopped. There was like, I think AJ Styles was like the one where like he was a name, like he was one of the few guys that was like a proper name, like not just with indie wrestling fans. That when he came over, they're just like, you get to keep your name, bud. And he's like, okay, cool. And so like, some of them don't have to, but for the most part, they all just they don't get to keep their name.
So I imagine his name is neither Tyler Black nor Seth Rollins.
It isn't. I don't know what his real name is.
I guess you wouldn't want the WWE to own your real name, although
Well,
I don't know that they could.
yeah, so that's the thing. So like, um, WrestleCast. But so there's this wrestler. His name was the Ultimate Warrior. His real name was Jim Hellwig. After he left WWE, he got pissed off and he just changed his name to the Warrior. So then he could then sell stuff with the Warrior written on it and make money off of it. And WB couldn't do anything. Then there's the big guy, Ryback. His name, I don't remember his real name now. Doesn't matter. He changed it legally to Ryback. So he can then keep using this thing that he, made all of his money with WB. He can now just use that as a way to make money now.
Did the WWE like later put that in contracts, like you can't change your name or whatever?
Probably not, because like if you look at the two people that did, one was a certified nut job, and the other one is just the big guy, the big idiot Ryback. So it's not, And I also think if like, in my personal opinion, if you're like a proper talent, like I'll also use Kevin Owens. Okay, he is very talented. He came over. He was Kevin Steen on the Indies, and then he came over, had to change his name to Kevin Owens. If they copyright that name, he'll be able to go back on the Indies as Kevin Steen. And then there's some wrestlers like Ruby Riott. She used to be something Soho, and then so now she's Ruby Soho, and because she's using Ruby Riott, and it just works because she's like, oh, I can use my old name and then use new one, make money that way. Like if you're a fucking smart wrestler, you can figure out how to ways around it to make it work. Ryback just wasn't that fucking smart, so that's part of the problem.
No, fair enough. There you go. There's all the wrestling intel for you folks.
Yeah, and hey, if you guys like this, give us 10,000 likes and $30, and we'll do a WrestleCast once a year.
Yep. That's the only way you can get me to get into it.
But it's going to be talking about the whole year. So it'll be December 31st. Jake will have to have watched every single type of wrestling thing. And then we'll talk about it for probably like 12 hours.
I was going to say, man, can you imagine how long that episode would be?
Can you imagine our notes for that? It'd look like a fucking crazy person's.
I don't want to imagine it.
We'd both be like the Charlie Day meme.
Yeah, I know. But I don't want to get to that point. So
Yeah.
maybe save your likes for this show.
No, no, no. Give it to us. We want it.
Moving right along. Um, okay, so real quick, it was announced this week that DC is doing a swimsuit issue this summer. Did you see the name for it, Casey?
No, I didn't.
Okay. It's called Norts Illustrated.
Nice.
That's
I
the
know.
best name ever, dude.
I have a feeling I know who's going to be the first person buying that one at your store.
Who?
Old Preston, because Nort.
Man, we should have had Nord on the Smasher Pass.
Well, we already knew it's a smash for all three of us.
True. That's true. I want to say, and I always mix these two guys up, as you know, but it's either Tim Seeley or Steve Orlando is like the top build writer on that. So
The thing is, I could see either of them being the top build writer on that
well,
too.
sure. Yeah, and that's
Because
not a dig or anything.
no, but it's like because Tim Seeley had that one book where he co-wrote where it was like heavy in the sex, and then Steve
It's called
Orlando,
Money Shot.
yeah,
It's
and
still
then
going on.
oh, okay, I didn't know it was still going on. And then Steve Orlando, if you follow his Twitter, it's like, yeah, I could see him 100% doing something like this because like he seems goofy enough. So
Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to find the actual info on it. It looks like some of the art, man, the art lineup is nuts. There's going to be art by Amanda Connor, Paul Pelletier, Nicholas Scott, Mikkel Hanine, Jeff DeCal, Daniel Sampier, Gleb Melnikov, Derek Chu, Art Germ, Emanuela Lupacino, Joelle Jones, Megan Wang, Terry Dodson, Joe Canones, Otto Schmidt, Michael Allred, Jenny Friesen. I mean, it's just like a ton of people.
yeah,
So it is Steve Orlando.
okay,
And some of those other creators might be writing as well, but you know how they do these issues where there's like a framing story.
yeah.
But anyway, there's also going to be, well, they've been doing a lot of swimsuit just variants. I think they did some last year too, which were great, but the one the one for Nightwing this year is just so silly. So silly. But okay, moving along. Al Ewing is going to be launching an Avengers Inc. later this year. It's going to be a team led by Wasp against a character called Victor Shade, who was Victor Stone, who I guess is who the Vision's identity. I don't know if you're familiar at all, Casey.
Not right off.
Okay. Well, apparently Victor Stone gets a little evil bug inside of him, goes by Victor Shade. There's some murder, and Wasp puts together a team to solve that. So
Okay.
could be pretty neat. If you don't like Al Ewing like Casey, you're probably not going to dig it, but I think the premise at least sounds pretty neat. It'll probably be like a 5-issue thing.
I honestly think a 5-issue thing with Al Ewing would be pretty awesome until he goes like, no, I want it to be 100 things instead.
All right. And then Jonathan Hickman and Brian Hitch are relaunching the Ultimates universe. No idea why. I truly, truly don't know who's asking for this
I
other
don't
than
know.
those two.
The thing is, I'm as someone that never read, I think I've read one issue of anything Ultimate related, but or no, I have two issues Ultimate related, but it was a good idea on paper, just like the new 52 was a good idea on paper. It's just they let it go too long. They got bad writers doing it. I don't think Hickman and Brian Hitch should be the ones to do it. I think honestly, if you want to do Ultimates, you should use that as like a I don't know, like a proving ground. So you get these like other writers, these new younger writers, and just be like, here you go. and then let them write whatever the hell they want, and then you can look and be like, oh, this is selling well. This, this person's this thing is selling really well. We can put him on another book, like one of the 616 books instead, and do it that way. And do Ultimate Universes just like a digital only. Sorry, Jake, comic book shop owner, but do like a
Yeah,
digital only type of thing, and then have just basically be see what works and see what doesn't work.
it's not a bad idea. Not a
But then
bad
also
idea.
make it different, and don't make it different in like the crackhead way that they did.
Yeah. I mean, I've been told about stuff that happens. I've seen panels from stuff that happens, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know if they really needed an incest thing between Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I don't know if that was necessary, but it happened. I don't know if we needed a Tony and Wasp sex tape. I don't know if the Wasps need to be ate by the Blob. Like, there's things that they did wrong.
Yep. And, we'll see if we get that again.
Yeah.
But it's going to start with that. I forget what it's called. Ultimate something. But anyway, that's going to kick it off. And then they'll go into a proper series. And I imagine spin-offs after that.
Yeah.
But do your local comic shop a favor and let them know which of that stuff you want beforehand, because that is one of those things where it's like, who knows how it's going to sell if people wanted it all. So, yeah, if you have a pull list somewhere, let them know if you want it.
I will not want it.
Me either. Okay, and then finally, this is really funny. So, quick little story. Last Wednesday, listener of the show and pull customer of my shop, Eric, comes in and he's like, dude, I'm listening to your podcast on the way here, and you're talking about the Birds of Prey relaunch, and you said it's not going to happen, but I want Big Barda on the team. He's like, as I'm listening to that, I'm scrolling through a comic news site, and right there it says Big Barda confirmed for the new Birds of Prey. So it's like, hot damn, what perfect timing. And also, thank you, Kelly Thompson, for giving me what I wanted.
I mean, I don't like that he's not giving us 100% attention. So I'm a little disappointed, but it's okay.
I know, right? The other two members were also announced. We've got Zealot from the Wildcats, character I know precisely fuck all about, but she looks cool. And then on my notes, I said one more to go, probably Harley Quinn. And then the next day, it was announced it is Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. Harley sells. And, as much as I adore most of that team, they needed somebody that was going to sell. They needed their Batman, right?
Yeah.
And they got that through Harley. So now that it's all been announced, Casey, what do you think of that team? And are you going to check it out?
I'm going to check it out, but I think for the rest of the members of the team, I think Bart is a bit too much for it. It's like, what are they going to do where Bart is like, oh, guys, I could really use your street leveler type of help on this one.
It makes me think, are they going to amplify the others for some reason, like just for the series, or are they going to make it so that Barda somehow gets depowered?
Yeah. Or maybe, and I hope it's not this, but maybe for this one, they're just going to go to Apocalypse. And that's why they need Barda.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And that would be super fun.
Yeah. Maybe, Mr. Miracle's been, is the damsel in distress. And she's like, I need to get a team together.
That would be so fun. Also, to date this episode, the Denver Nuggets just won the NBA championship.
Oh, cool.
Congrats to them.
I know Nikola Jokic is listening to this now. Still not a fan of yours, sir, but congrats.
Yep.
I will say I don't like Zealot's costume design in this, but other than that, it's great.
Is it different than
Oh yeah.
Wildcats?
Oh yeah.
What don't you like about it?
I don't know. I think it might be just the art style, but look kind of frumpy to me. Like Zealot's like much more sleek. Like don't get me wrong. Normally Zealot's very skimpy clothing too, but I don't know. The way the art was done just looked boxy. Because like you could make that costume look really cool, and it just didn't. Like I said, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, maybe it will be. And
Yeah,
you know, in interior form.
yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, the USPS at some point just said Casey is not getting these fucking comics, and they ripped the label on the box. So that box of comics came back to me, and therefore Casey didn't get to read any of his comics this week. So,
But we do have some good news. You're gonna get a chance to hear me talk even more later this week because we are dropping an episode of Anime Boys this Thursday,
yep, be
and it's
ready.
not. And we need to preface this too. We promised it would be Soul Eater, but that show was so bad, my computer deleted the file with it on because it's like, no, this show is garbage. No one needs to ever see it or even talk about it because it is just a dog shit show. So we're gonna be talking Yu Hakusho.
Yeah. But I like Soul Eater. So, it's just one of those things where Casey probably hated so much that he deleted it himself and then blamed it on his computer.
No,
You
it
monster.
it ate my soul watching
Well,
that show. Like,
then you
my
should love it
God.
for its accuracy.
I'm just sitting there going, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
We don't
I
need to
would
get into
I would
this.
rather watch the lady from Gundam yell "Amaro" for 3 hours straight while taking a potato peeler to my groin than watch another episode.
I think that's being dramatic.
4 hours.
You're an absolute drama queen for that.
12 hours.
Anyway,
So check it out.
yep, it'll be cool. Yu Yu Hakusho. If you've never seen it before, you will have 2 days to watch the first 6 episodes
Yeah.
so that you know what we're talking about.
And it's really good. Like this, unlike not to spoil the episode, but it's really good. You should check it out.
Yep. All right. But the comics that I read this week, I've got Daredevil 12, Sonic 61, Steelworks #1, Dark Knights of Steel 11, Batman 136, and Loki #1. All right. I'll be brief, and I will also not spoil anything on those issues that Casey will be reading.
Yeah, it's like I forgot Daredevil came out because I remembered the last issue of Flash came out this week. I'm like, man, this was a good week for me, and it's
Yep.
USPS.
Okay. Daredevil. It's written by Chip Zdarsky, art's done by Marco Cicchetto. It's real good. It's real good. Lots and lots of stuff between Matt and Elektra, and also a character from a previous run that I don't know anything about. But dang, they sure did look cool. So it makes me want to go back and read that series.
Is it Blind Spot?
It is Blind Spot.
Nice. I like Blind Spot.
Yeah. Well, Cicchetto makes him look so cool. Yeah, and I can't say anything about the ending, but I just that last issue is just going to be bonkers. So
Yeah. Now, Personal question time, bud. When Charles Soule first took over, you were reading his run and you liked it more than me, but I kind of stuck with it and you just didn't. Why didn't you stick with it?
Well, that was I wasn't sticking with anything at that time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was before we were doing this, where I was like holding
Yeah,
myself accountable to read stuff. So
I
I
gotcha.
just I just wasn't reading anything.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I can't think of anything that I disliked about it. So I guess I give it a 10.
All right. I'm just again, I'm going to say this, and for those listening, if you like Zdarsky's run, I would say check out um, Charles Soule's run. It's really, really good. Uh, yeah, I mean, it. Like I said, it was like such a switch from Mark Wade's run, and I didn't like it because like he did one of those things that's like pretty common now where it's like, yeah, a bunch of stuff happened between this last issue and then the 1 month time that this new one came out from the continuity that you know and this know, and we're not going to tell you until 15 issues in, and that annoys the crap out of me. But as a standalone series, it's still really fun.
Right on. All right, next we've got Sonic 61 and the creative team on that. Story is by Evan Stanley or Yvonne Stanley, and art by Adam Bryce Thomas. And this issue is pretty cool. It's basically just a big fight between Metal and then like all the others. And I love Metal. He's the coolest Sonic character. So that's always fun. Um, but Shadow kind of saves the day doing his chaos control on the uh kind of fake chaos emeralds. And this is a pretty good, like, you can tell this is the end of the arc because even Shadow, like some of Shadow's crew joins all of Sonic and his friends for like a little picnic at the end. Um, just because they beat Robotnik in his
Yeah,
evil Chaos Emerald City.
it's a very My Hero Academia thing. It's like we need a cool down.
Yeah, yeah. Except the difference is this is for like 2 pages
Yeah,
and not an entire fucking arc. Um, but anyway, Rouge has at the end, she has like this artifact from Angel Island. Angel Island is where the Master Emerald is, and it's where Knuckles lives. And Amy's like, what the hell, Rouge? Like, you shouldn't have this. Knuckles should have it. And Rouge is like, yeah, whatever. She gives it up. And Amy's like, well, I'll take it to him. So next month, I just like the preview cover. It's just going to be Knuckles and Amy hanging out on Angel Island. I think that could be pretty fun.
it's Knuckles. He's like, "You have my thing." And he's just beating the crap out of her. It's like, give it
I
back. She's like,
mean,
I'm trying.
maybe that'd be pretty funny. Um, yeah, really like above average issue of Sonic for sure. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Nice, man.
All right. Next we've got Steelworks #1. It's written by Michael Dorn. What?
Just a stupid joke. So whenever we'll be like out farming and we'll see someone that has like, like there's a guy named Green Green, like I don't remember, like let's just say Green. So there's Green Farms on the trucks. My grandpa would always say, like hell he does. So when I hear Steelworks, it's like hell he does.
Oh, that's funny. Uh, gosh, now I'm gonna think of that whenever I see this title. Anyway, it's written by Michael Dorn with art by Sammy Basri. And it was pretty a-okay. Lots of setup, like lots of
Yeah.
dialogue, which is understandable. I'm not going to knock it too hard for that. You kind of need that on a Steel book when Steel hasn't had a book since the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, lots of stuff with Natasha. That's his niece, right?
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, Steel is Well, you picked it up, so I'm not going to say anything. Steel's just doing something very interesting in Metropolis, and I don't know how the supers are going to react to it. So I'm definitely interested in where it's going, especially since it's just going to be a mini series. Like the next issue would have to be pretty bad for me to not just stick out the 6 issues.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
Dark Knights of Steel, number 11, written by one Thomas Taylor, with art by Yasmin Putri. This book is pretty neat. But dude, it takes so long between issues that like it really brings it down, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's gonna read great when it's collected, I think. But essentially the white Martians are the big bad. So the superpowered kingdoms or non-superpowered kingdoms are just going to have to team up to fight the white Martians in the last issue, and then everybody will live happily ever after. I know that's how it's going to end. But at the end of this, there's a twist where it turns out Amanda Waller is working with the white Martians. So we'll see how that plays out in the final issue. But it's probably not going to matter because
Yeah.
who cares if Amanda Waller is working against Superman and Wonder Woman and all these superpowered people?
I'm gonna say this right now, and this is why I've not read a single issue, but I have a feeling the closing page or like the last panel, you're gonna get the reveal that one of the characters is a white Martian. It's like, is this over? Maybe not. Maybe we'll have another one.
We'll see. We'll report back in 3 months when it comes out
Next year.
next year. All right, Batman 136. I'd like to point out this art germ cover of Robin because it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I felt about this run, Casey, so far.
Yeah.
This was my favorite issue so far.
Hmm.
Really, really liked it. There are a couple of things that are like, whatever. But I don't know. Do you want me to talk about it or not?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, if it's good, it doesn't really matter if shit gets spoiled. If you're like, fail safe was his dad, I'll be like, oh, that's crazy, crazy thing to find out, but cool. Like I'm excited to see where this goes. But
Okay. Well, basically, everyone's trying to check in on Bruce, and he's like, I'm fine. Quit talking to me. And clearly, he's not fine. So he gets this alert about something. Well, maybe not an alert. He just goes back to Wayne Manor because he knows that's where Failsafe was created. And someone has broken in and they're upstairs. So he goes up there, and it's all of the kids are in the kitchen, like making breakfast. And they're essentially like, this was the only way we could get you here to like intervention, essentially, right?
like, I do love bacon and pancakes.
But it isn't so much an intervention as like all of them just genuinely want to have a meal with him. And it's really good. It's really, really good stuff. Oh, I didn't say who was on creative duty. It's Chip Zdarsky, but the art is Belen Ortega, and their art's really good. Really, really good. You can tell that they're close to Jimenez, but good, really good in their own way. But it's nice. Like even Jason is there and Duke. So yeah, they all kind of talk to Bruce about stuff, and then we get a backup. That's essentially how Failsafe gets created.
Is
So
what's her name there? Harper Rowe. Did she not get the invite?
no, she did not get the invite.
She's just sitting by her phone, like, I really hope Bruce is okay. They're like, did you
Nah.
invite Harper? Fuck no. That nerd.
It's Dick, Barbara, Jason, Tim, Damian, Duke, and the Batgirls.
She's gonna see the Instagram post and be so upset.
Right. Or just like check their location. They're
Yeah.
all together.
She's going, oh man, again.
DC doesn't care about Harper Row. So yeah, because of that nice, those nice character moments and just the fact that Failsafe was minimally in it, I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. I really genuinely liked reading this issue.
The one thing I hate about Zdarsky's run, though, outside of failsafe, is just the fact that like the last time we saw anything with like Gotham, it's like failsafe took it over,
Yep.
and then now they're just like, we're gonna have a nice grand slam for Daddy Bruce.
Yeah, dude, they don't even, as far as I remember, they don't even mention like failsafe or like what's going on with Gotham, any of that.
Yeah, I like to think Bruce is like, so how's Gotham? Like failsafe's doing a wonderful job. Like
They
no
don't need any
crime.
of us, dude.
Yeah, we that's why we're able to make you breakfast, bud. And he's like, oh, should we kill him still?
Oh gosh. I just hope Chip is listening, like taking down notes.
He's like, how did they know what was gonna happen?
All right. And then lastly, and it will be my pick of the week, got Loki #1.
Low key, it's his pick of the week.
Haha, on God, no cap.
W Riz.
Anywho, it's written by Dan Waters with art by German Peralta. And man, it's cool. It's really cool. So Dan Waters clearly knows some Norse mythology stuff, because the whole thing is that mythology Loki built a ship, like a really powerful ship, out of the fingernails of the dead. Pretty gross.
Yeah.
But like the first couple, or well, first page just shows like what the Norsemen would do to their dead. They like groomed them before burying them, so that Loki couldn't take their nasty long fingernails to make a ship out of them. So it just showed them like trimming beards and trimming nails and all that jazz. And also the narrator of the story is kind of the ship. But it's one of those things where the ship is talking about like us as if it's like one person but multiple at the same time. Also the interior art really good. Like there's Papa Thor there. Looks really good,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
But Thor goes to find Loki, who's just like on vacation in Florida, just hanging out. And Thor's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be a king of Jotunheim. Like, why aren't you there? He's like, oh, don't worry. The giants, they're keeping busy. And it cuts and it shows that Loki like taught them all how to read. And he was like, you all have to read all of these books before I get back. So the giants learn to read, and then they read this old Norse story about Loki's boat, and they're like, well, God, now we can use that boat to take Jotunheim back for ourselves. So it's like Loki set them up to dethrone him, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's not all comedy. Like that's just Dan Waters is just a good fucking writer. So anyway, two of them steal the boat. They crash it into the world tree, and the boat like breaks up into 3 pieces and it scatters. So now it's very much like a video game where they have to go collect the pieces of the boat, so that an evil ship shouldn't be just out there, right, for people to gather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some stuff with like the dwarves happens because some of the dwarves find a piece of that boat and they form it into an axe, but it drives him crazy. And now he just wants to fight. And also the ice giants want to fight. So Loki's trying to stave off war because he's kind of a good guy for the last, couple of years. Um, and there's just a lot of cool stuff being set up while also being hilarious and also leaning into Norse mythology. It's everything I wanted in this book.
Yeah.
It's so good. If you like Loki or like Norse mythology, check it out. It's just going to be a mini series, but man, it's just so good. It's so good. I loved it. 10 out of 10. Pick of the week.
Right on, man. So, what are you excited for in the coming week?
Um, I am excited for Moon Knight because that's coming to an end and it makes me extremely sad. I'm also going to say probably that Static book. I know it's just like a team up one shot, but Static doesn't normally get those. So I'm hoping that it's fun. And the last one I'll say is probably, I'll be Mr. Crazy Pants here and I'll say Black Panther.
Okay.
So we had talked about trying that out, and now it's time to pony up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Green Lantern because I unlike Jake, I like the first one a whole bunch. And then I'm gonna say Nasty because that's just like at worst it's been very good so far. And it's like it's always nice having just a book that you don't know what the hell is gonna happen next. And then Superman Lost. It's really fucking good.
Sure is.
All right. So now Father's Day is this weekend. So give me the best dads in comic books or characters you just want to call daddy.
Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I think like the biggest daddy, you got to give it to Hercules. Like
I mean,
if anyone's gonna fit that persona, I think it would be him.
it's really I'm going to say this. I think daddy's just it's just a state of whatever you want it to be. Whatever floats your boat.
Sure.
So if you're like, yeah, I want the blonde hunky Thor, and that's who you think is daddy, then that's who you think is daddy.
I want a big pile of rocks.
Yeah,
The thing is daddy.
yeah, you want you want a short hairy guy? Wolverine's your daddy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Puck.
Oh, you want a really short hairy guy that speaks French Canadian? Puck's your boy.
Yep. Um, okay, best fathers in comics. I mean, we gotta go Clark for one of them, I think. I'm not gonna say Bruce because let's be real, he's a horrible father.
Yeah.
And anybody that says that is lying to themselves. Um, gosh, there are just so many characters that I love that are bad dads. It's really tough to think of like the good ones. Oh, Alfred.
Yep.
Alfred's one of the best fathers, probably the best father. Um, I feel like I gotta say one more. I don't know. Is Reed a good dad?
No, I don't think anyone would say that.
Okay.
I think he's
How,
like adequate at best.
how about like Scott Lang?
Yeah, I'd say he's okay, but I think you got one more because you said unless you're just counting your Thor as daddy.
Oh, I think this counts because there's comics out there. I'm gonna say Geralt of Rivia.
Okay. So I'll say John Kent is a damn good father.
Yep.
And then I was gonna say Alfred, but since you took Alfred, I'll go with what's his name? I had it. The new god. Um, it would be Mr. Miracle's biological daddy and Orion's adopted daddy.
Dark Side.
No, the Orion's no, because they did the kid swap.
You're thinking High Father?
High father, because clearly he's a good father. I mean, he's got his sperm brought up Mr. Miracle, and then his he raised Orion, and it's like if you can make that like somewhat functioning, good on you, bud. Then I'll say Uncle Ben. I mean, like
Good
he was a
one.
good one until he got shot. And then let's go with Wolverine was not a good father. Like he was a good father to the students, but not to his son. Um, let's say I'm trying to think of a. I'll go Wally. I wanted to go with the Marvel character, but Marvel's like full of angst, so I can't really think of a good Marvel one.
Yeah. Well, I think Wally's a fair choice.
Yeah, especially if you read Jeremy Adams' run. He's dang good dad. Tell us your
Or
favorite.
Nightwing. He liked to write Wally in that too.
Yeah. So like if you have a daddy of your own that you want to talk about, leave us a comment down below.
Who's your comic daddy?
Yeah,
All right. That's the end of the episode, huh?
I think so.
Alrighty. Closing plugs. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give our page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, go to our YouTube channel. It's 2worlds Podcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
And tell your friends about this podcast if you can. Just be like, hey, we're friends, right? And then they will go, sure. It's like, well, I did save you, in the war. Like, yeah, that's true. And you said you'd do anything for me. And then they'll say, that is true also. And then you say, well, we're going cross country and we're listening to Two Worlds podcast, whether you like it or not. Like, okay, well, we're doing cross country. We're robbing a bank, so I don't have to worry about ever having to take care of my kids. I don't have to financially. I will just have all this gold because this will be a gold bank. It's Fort Knox, and then you get there and there's no gold there because we're not backed by the gold standard anymore. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you guys will have listened to every episode, and that's how you do it. But we'd love to stay in chat. But I have to dive face first into his Venus flytrap. Bye, guys.
See ya.